And then this is the last one, the Stono Rebellion. Happens in September 39. It happens in the colony of South Carolina, okay, along the Stono River. It's about 20 miles, I think, east or west, I don't know, 20 miles from Charleston. Stono Rebellion, this is what happens. Okay, so obviously you can see some slaves here attacking some whites. That's going to happen. What ends up happening is in September 1739, there are some slaves who are deciding to march to Florida. What has happened is, remember that Florida at this time is under Spanish control. And the Spanish are trying to build a little unrest in the English colonies. They've been known to attack some of the English colonies or raid and things like that. And so they are encouraging the slaves to leave the plantations and to rebel. And what happens is, if the slaves make it to Florida, they are given their freedom by the Spanish, and they're also given land. So that encourages a lot of the slaves who are living near Florida to actually leave the plantations and move on. What ends up happening is there are some slaves who go into a store at the Stono River. They get a hold of some weapons, some guns, some ammunition, and they decide, also, they kill the store owners. Apparently there's two of them. Both are killed. They end up marching their way through the town, and this is in the early morning hours. They start marching their way through the town and kind of killing the people that they meet along the way. A couple people are allowed to live because apparently they treated their slaves very nicely. But once they reach a few of the neighboring farms, about 6 or 7 different farms, they kill everybody in their path, men, women, children. It does not matter. And before you start freaking out and be like, oh, that's so sad, remember what's happening to slave families as well, okay? They're being mistreated. They're held in captivity against their will. Their families are at times split up and sold to different plantations. If they do something bad, they may be whipped. They are used, at times they will have violence used against them. They don't necessarily get the best food. They don't have a lot of rights. So bad things are happening to them as well. So in a way, the slaves are seeking revenge. They want to move to Florida, have freedom, and also seek revenge a little bit. What ends up happening is you have a couple people who are able to escape and round up some help and give a warning to other people. This all happens in one day, by the way. So in the morning, the store is robbed, the store owners are killed. In the evening, by the evening, the rebellion is put down. So by the afternoon, some whites, some say 20 to 100, that's a pretty wide range, but 20 to 100 whites are able to track down the 100 slaves that are marching to freedom. They are basically gunned down. Anybody who escapes will be hunted down. It takes them about 6 months to hunt all of the slaves down. The majority of them are executed. There are a few that actually are allowed to live because apparently some of the slaves who were kind of forced to go in the rebellion actually were able to successfully hide their master in order for him not to be killed. And so they are rewarded with that good deed. So what it ends up happening is they actually come up with harsher slave codes. And what that means is that no reading for the slaves, right? No meeting for the slaves. They used to be able to meet. They used to be able to actually work on their own land on Sundays. Can't do that anymore. They can't earn their own money. So if you had a skill that you could actually do a little spare work on the side and earn some money, can't do that anymore. Those are the main things. And these aren't necessarily new laws, but they're definitely laws that are going to be followed now because of this incident. So what it does is just makes life a little bit harsher for the slaves. And there are other slave rebellions that we will talk about, but this is one of the earlier ones. And we'll talk about Nat Turner's slave rebellion as well as we go along. So if you have any questions, let me know on Tuesday when you come back, or you can email me, of course. But this should help with your study guide. And I hope you enjoy this lovely print here. Enjoy your 4 days.